Hello, you're watching the English News Bulletin on QPVN channel. I'm Nguyễn, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. President LUONG receives ambassadors. Bến Tre marks 50th anniversary of liberation. Breakthrough policies needed to attract more FDI. On April the 24th, the ambassadors of Australia, the Dominican Republic, Algeria, and Angola came to present their credentials to the President of Vietnam.
The President welcomed the appointment of Ambassador Gillian Bird, an experienced diplomat with deep knowledge of Southeast Asia and Vietnam. Ambassador Gillian Bird expressed her honor in taking up the post in Vietnam. She emphasized her commitment to promoting support funds, encouraging Australian businesses to invest in Vietnam, maximizing the benefits of trade agreements to boost trade ties, and further bolstering defense and security cooperation. At the reception for Ambassador Ronaldo Rafael Espina Nunes of Dominican Republic, President LUONG underscored Vietnam's hope to strengthen the traditional friendship, enhance political trust, and boost cooperation effectiveness. Ambassador Nunes affirmed that the people of Dominican Republic have great admiration for Vietnam's heroic history and pledged all-out efforts to help elevate bilateral relations to a new height. President LUONG congratulated Mr. Azadin Beka on his appointment as ambassador of Algeria to Vietnam, affirming that Vietnam values its traditional friendship and cooperation with Algeria. Ambassador Azadin Beka pledged to actively contribute to strengthening bilateral ties and stated that Algeria is ready to serve as a gateway for Vietnam, presenting his credentials and expressing his honor in taking up the post in Vietnam. Ambassador Fernando Miguel of Angola stated that Angola wishes to learn from Vietnam's development experience. He suggested that both sides identify key areas for cooperation, such as minerals, oils, gas.
On the afternoon of April the 24th local time, an official welcome ceremony for Vietnamese President LUONG and a high-ranking delegation was held in Vientiane of Laos. General Secretary of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party Central Committee and President of Laos Thongloun Sisoulith hosted the event.
President LUONG's visit to Laos is taking place at a time when the great friendship, special solidarity, and comprehensive cooperation between Vietnam and Laos continue to develop well. The two sides affirmed to strengthen the friendship, special solidarity, and comprehensive cooperation between Vietnam and Laos in the new situation. The visit of President LUONG to Laos on the first days of the Lao New Year Bun Pi May will create a new impetus, contributing to fostering and bringing great friendship, special solidarity, and comprehensive cooperation between Vietnam and Laos to a deeper, more substantial, and effective level in the coming time, bringing prosperity to the people of each country. After the official welcoming ceremony, the two leaders held talks to discuss measures to deepen and further effectively enhance the comprehensive cooperation between the two countries.
Bến Tre Province solemnly held a ceremony on the morning of April the 24th to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and National Reunification Day, as well as the liberation of the province on May the 1st, 1975. Head of the Party Central Committee's Commission for Information, Education and Mass Mobilization, Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa, Deputy Prime Minister Mai Văn Chính, Senior Lieutenant General Huỳnh Chiến Thắng, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, along with leaders, former leaders of the party, state, ministries, central agencies, and localities attended the event.
In the epic victory of spring 1975, the troops and people of Bến Tre, the homeland of Đồng Khởi movement, made important contributions. Speaking at the ceremony, Mr. Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa asked Bến Tre Province to uphold the spirit of Đồng Khởi, direct, manage, and organize the implementation of political tasks and social-economic development, synchronously and effectively implement policies for national contributors, sustainable poverty reduction, construction of new-style rural areas and civilized urban areas. In particular, the movement to eliminate temporary and dilapidated houses is a bright spot of Binche that needs to be augmented with the highest political determination.
Also on April the 24th, Senior Lieutenant General Huang Sun-Chien, Deputy Defense Minister, chaired a conference reviewing the 9th Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange.
Senior Lieutenant General Huang Sun-Chien affirmed that the success of this exchange demonstrates the initiative and proactiveness of the two ministries of defense in implementing the common perception that the two countries' senior leaders reached during the visit to Vietnam of General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping. Acknowledging the achievements of forces participating in the exchange, the Ministry of National Defense, the General Staff, the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army decided to award certificates of merit to 92 collectives and 185 individuals with outstanding achievements.
Peace, independence, and freedom have always been the burning aspirations of the Vietnamese people, an enduring desire forged through thousands of years. From battles against foreign invaders to the resounding victories achieved by the whole nation, that longing has become a powerful driving force, arousing Vietnamese generations to dedicate themselves to building a peaceful and prosperous country.
On September 2nd, 1945, the burning aspiration of the nation came true. From being a colonized Vietnam, absent from the world map, the Vietnamese people were able to hold their heads high as Vietnam proudly asserts itself as an independent nation.
Mọi người đều sinh ra có quyền bình đẳng, tạo hóa cho họ những quyền không ai có thể xâm phạm được. Nước Việt Nam có quyền hưởng tự do và độc lập, và sự thật đã thành một nước tự do độc lập.
After the country's declaration of independence, generations of Vietnamese people continued to fight, ready to sacrifice to gain and protect national independence. From the August Revolution in 1945, the Điện Biên Phủ victory in 1954, to the Great Spring victory in 1975, all were glorious milestones in the journey to regain independence and reunify the country. In those struggles, millions of Vietnamese people laid down their lives. They were willing to sacrifice their youth and lives for the fatherland. They are the living proof of patriotism and strong desire for peace of the whole people. Witnessing devastated battlefields, comrades sacrificing in action, and our damaged weapons, all of us were determined to fight until our last breath. In 1972, during an air battle, pilot Đỗ Văn Lanh played the role of covering his teammates to pursue and attack American F-4 fighters. On his way back to Da Phúc for landing, pilot Đỗ Văn Lanh saw the low fuel warning light turning on, while flying at an altitude of 5,500 meters. At that time, the plane was hundreds of kilometers away from the airfield. Facing life-threatening moments, he resolutely stayed in the cockpit, determined to keep the aircraft for the Air Force when the country was still so impoverished. More than 50 years have gone by, but the memory of that life-and-death moment is still intact in the mind of Colonel Tạ Quốc Hưng, the navigation officer who helped guide pilot Đỗ Văn Lanh aircraft run out of fuel to land safely. I might not be sure about others, but with Lang I immediately told the commander, this guy will not abandon the plane. Because in my heart, I believed that there was no way he would leave the aircraft like that, especially when the plane was still in good conditions. Even an aircraft with a shot-through wing, he still operated. Because of his determination to never give up on the aircraft, I was determined to guide him back. This arduous yet proud and glorious journey of the Vietnamese nation serves as a deeply moving reminder of the value of peace and independence. and it is a sacred responsibility that today's generation needs to cherish and preserve. I am deeply touched and appreciate the sacrifices of previous generations even more. We should strive harder in developing the country to deserve their contribution. In the current context, we have an even greater need for peace because we experienced long wartime with backwardness and difficulties. There is nothing better for the Vietnamese people than peace for development. And we must brace ourselves and fight for peace. At international forums, whether multilateral or bilateral, we always highlight our aspirations for peace and seek ways through concrete actions to maintain peace.
Coming up next, Điện Biên boost friendship cooperation with northern Lao localities. Breakthrough policies needed to attract more FDI. On April the 24th, a delegation of the Lao National Assembly, led by its Vice Chairman, Sing Lieutenant General CUONG Lumbumbi, worked with leaders of Điện Biên Province.
At the working session, Secretary of the Điện Biên Provincial Party Committee Trần Quốc Cường suggested the Lao National Assembly Vice Chairman enhance exchange in areas of mutual interest, particularly in people-to-people and cultural exchange, promote investment cooperation, economic development, and expand cooperation in tourism development. The Lao guest emphasized that during this working trip, the delegation implemented the Memorandum of Understanding on cooperation between the two countries' legislative bodies. They've also learned from experience in carrying out the roles of the National Assembly and Provincial People's Councils, especially in such issues as religious management and hunger eradication and poverty reduction policies.
Foreign direct investment, or FDI, attraction in the first quarter of 2025 still maintained impressive growth, with many strong indicators compared to the last same period. However, in the current context with many challenges, Vietnam needs to continue its reform efforts and come up with breakthrough policies to promote this capital flow to contribute to the overall growth target.
By the end of the first quarter of this year, the total registered FDI capital in Vietnam has reached nearly $11 billion, an increase of nearly 35% over the last same period. In particular, disbursed FDI capital reached $4.96 billion, an increase of 7.2%. This is the highest over the past 5 years, reflecting the economy's ability to attract and disburse FDI capital. The number of newly registered investment projects and capital-adjusted projects affirms that Vietnam continues to be a trusted investment destination for foreign investors.
And they're picking Vietnam because of the skill set here, the workforce, the education. So as an investor, looking over the next 10 years, I'm making a very big bet here that will have sustained continued growth in the decade ahead.
Regarding the upcoming period, the Ministry of Finance believes that there are many significant factors affecting the attraction of FDI. Specifically, international organizations and financial institutions have assessed an increasing likelihood of a global economic downturn, which could potentially lead to a recession. As a result, many institutions have revised their global economic growth forecast. This will certainly have an impact on Vietnam. To attract FDI in the new context amidst existing challenges, experts suggest that Vietnam needs to continue to reform administrative procedures and customs, improve the quality of human resource, accelerate the development of synchronized infrastructure, and enhance incentives to attract FDI into high-tech and sustainable sectors. In the coming time, FDI attraction must focus on improving quality. Our research shows that quality matters more, while quantity should reach a certain level. If Vietnam succeeds in attracting high-quality foreign investment, it will significantly support the country's economic development, especially in science and technology, digital transformation, and semiconductor sectors. In addition, the business community has proposed that agencies continue to streamline administrative procedures, relax visa and work permit processes for foreign experts, and enhance transparency in laws and law enforcement. Only then can investment flows into Vietnam be effectively unlocked and strengthened.
And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch news again at QPVN.vn. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.